Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. We see so many people in the comments. Hello.
Hi.
I was just saying before we got on, I'm super nervous for how this discussion is going to go because I don't know what anybody thought of this book. There's very mixed reviews from a lot of people. Hello, everybody. We can all just agree, though, the cover's stunning.
Oh, yeah. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
For sure.
Though, I forget what country it is. It, goes beyond this.
So, yeah.
Full on.
You see his full behind.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Do you remember which edition that is?
I don't think they use it on the book at all. Maybe like a Mexican edition.
Okay, I knew it was, it was foreign.
Yeah, but I saw, because for a while I was like really want to collect all her covers. So I was browsing eBay. And then there's a vintage promo poster for the book. And that one used the full.
I need it.
Yeah.
Is this still on eBay?
No.
No.
I saw it once and never seen it again.
I think it was Romantic Times maybe would have full cover posters.
I would think so, yeah.
Someone said this was a difficult cover to find, though. And I was like, I don't have difficulty finding this cover.
Not this one.
Yeah, I was like, I found this at so many bookstores and secondhand used stores. So
yeah, I also love that it wraps all around.
Yes, and I like how it looks with her other ones that have the same kind of spine. It just looks so beautiful on the shelves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because a lot of them have the couple in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a couple of them, Tender as the Storm, all of those.
Yeah. Heart of Thunder.
Yeah.
A lot of those do. Those two look exactly the same on the spines.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the castle is perfectly set within the spine too.
It's a good cover. It's a really good cover.
This is so pretty. Is it
hardback? Oh, that's probably pretty.
I wonder if it shows more.
Oh, maybe because it has a flap, right?
Yeah.
Cover.
Oh yeah. Welcome. I mean, we can't talk about this without talking about how gorgeous the cover is. What did you guys rate it? Samantha and I just finished. I finished 30 minutes ago. So I read all but 20 pages today.
I don't know what it is, guys. I can read a book a day, but the second you tell me I have to read a book, I just procrastinate. Even though I picked the book, I read it last minute every time. Anyways, I finished this 30 minutes ago. And it's not my favorite Johanna Lindsey, but it's not my least favorite either. It's kind of falling middle of the road. So I think I'm going to give it just a solid 3-star rating. I didn't hate it, but I didn't absolutely love it either.
Okay.
So 3 stars.
Justin.
Go ahead,
well, I'm actually happy that we do this as a kind of book club pick because it's nice to hear people's opinion on this. Mm-hmm. I give it 2 stars.
Okay.
But I feel you guys read a lot more romance than I do, so I'm still kind of discovering my preference. Mm-hmm. This is my second Highlander romance, and I read Maya Bank before and thought that was okay. So I think maybe just the subject matter is not really my thing, and also I also realized I don't like alpha hero.
That's a lot. I feel it's a lot in Highlander romances too.
Yeah. I think this one's just way too alpha for me.
Okay, that's fair.
We have a lot of 2 stars.
Oh, really?
No, sorry, you guys.
We have a 5-star. Which we have more. Okay.
A lot of 3 stars, a lot of 2 stars.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna give it 3.5.
Okay.
I realized there wasn't a lot to the plot really. It was really for some also they didn't get together for a long time, which was also surprising for 1984.
Yeah.
And so just the fact that I know, Justin, you said it reminded you of A Moment in Time. Was that what that was called? Yeah. Where that one was just bonkers, all over the place. This one had a lot of that, but not as entertaining as that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I would say 3.5 because I didn't hate it and it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you said it reminded you of a moment in time, because for some reason this gave me Kingdom of Dreams vibes. Like the two opposing clans, and like how she was sent to the nunnery, and how she was like kidnapped a little bit. Like that's kind of the beginning plot of Kingdom of Dreams. But I think maybe Kingdom of Dreams, the alpha hero is strong in that one too. And the heroine, she has red hair, she's sassy. So like I felt they were very similar, but obviously I liked Kingdom of Dreams like way, way better.
Yeah. I definitely get a moment in time reference just because I read that quite recently with the book club. Yeah, it's just like you have like a kind of reckless young female heroine kind of making like kind of dumb decisions in both books, and it's a lot of like traveling from place to place, and then like the hero and the heroine doesn't really like come together until like the very end. Like they're like apart for a big part of the story.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I did love how it was kind of like destined, because like he saw her in the beginning in that like lake or whatever, and he's like, oh my gosh, she's for me. And then they like, it comes full circle at the end where he's like, oh my gosh, but that was you, and like I've been wanting you, and why do you think I was kidnapped? And I thought that was fun.
Yeah. I do like the encounter at the lake. That's really nice.
Yeah. I think it started off strong. I think what made it not as a strong book was it was more like the feud between the clans, more of the Highland drama, and not necessarily the romance. Yeah. So when they did finally like get together, it was like, why? Like it doesn't really seem like you guys are that in love with each other.
Yeah, that's like a main thing for me. Like I feel like I don't get how they can be a couple. Like even at the end, I was like, I don't think you guys are actually compatible, other than like the physical aspect, I think.
Yeah. That's true. But I feel like that's so common in a lot of historical Highlander romances where they butt heads so much, and she's all like, you can't control me, and we're going to fight all the time. Yeah. But then they're like, oh, but we love each other. And you're just like, okay, but you can't stand each other. So I think that's really common. But I liked how the ending was like that other clan was the one, like their feud was all because of misunderstandings. Like they were never really the cause of their own feud, back to like their Aunt Lydia's parents. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, more or less than love. But I feel that way about a lot of Johanna Lindsey books. Yeah. There's because the Viking romances, I feel like were just lust, and then all of a sudden they loved each other. Like I feel like
right. All hate to love though.
Her Viking romances are Gentle Rogue isn't really hate to love.
No.
So some of like her Mallory Anderson ones aren't really hate to love, but yeah, I guess that is.
I guess Level Ones wasn't hate to love.
To write.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, this is also true. There was like not a lot of depth to any of the characters. No. They were just like very much, he's the blonde Scottish laird, and like the redhead who's fiery. And I think it's funny because how many historical romances have redhead heroines?
It's always fiery, sassy redhead. I'm like, the obsession with red hair and green eyes, I cannot.
I mean, it's actually nice that they got like their hair color correct on the cover.
Oh, true.
Like, very accurate to the book.
And were lime green dresses a thing in the 1500s? Like they're like, she had a lime green wedding dress. I was like, does lime green exist? Like, did they call it lime green? Do they have limes in Scotland in 1500?
Well, maybe like green is like the Scottish colors or something like that.
I don't know.
Oh, she had red hair and blue eyes. Blue. She was different.
But she was like, literally everybody was obsessed with her. Every man wanted her. And I'm like, oh, it's one of these heroines where she's just so pretty that like everyone's fighting over her. Colin had kidnapped her in the first place.
Oh yeah. I actually really like that. I like that a lot. How like, I mean, it's like very funny, and then it's like almost comedy like, but like got kidnapped by the brother.
Other brother.
Yeah. Actually, and then like it became like almost like a triangle at some points, because like between the brothers, fighting over Sheena, right?
Oh yeah, Sheena.
Yeah.
And then it almost become like a square relationship when that what's his name, Black Galwin,
Oh,
Yeah.
the ultimate bad guy, because
Yeah.
he also was like interested in her, right?
Was he? I couldn't tell if he was, because like he's the one who was like pushing them apart and teaming up with Jesse to push them apart.
Yeah.
Because of course we have a jealous woman who wants him
Yes.
pushing them apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like every guy. And then the other guy that had kidnapped her, was it William? But I thought it was so hard to keep track of all the names in the beginning of the book, throwing them all out with the sisters and like the sisters were married.
Oh my
I
gosh,
needed to write them down.
yes, I love it.
Well, because I read this ahead of you guys. Like I can't do like finish it in a day, so I have to like take notes.
That's what we should do, but we don't.
To be fair, I thought I was ahead of the game for some reason. I thought today's live show was a different live show. I thought it was a live show for your other book club, Jessica.
With Katie Robert, yeah. I actually already read that one, so I read ahead for that one.
I didn't realize it until like yesterday, and I was like, oh, I read the wrong book. I need to finish.
William, right? Yeah.
Was William the one that she was like, "You're here, come take me home"? Like another dumb decision where she just trusts a random.
Yeah, I know that you got kidnapped twice.
Right? Maybe I shouldn't have trusted a stranger. She's like, "Oh, but he's just taking me here to spend the night until we go to where I need to be." And no. Oh, he locked me in, but he's still gonna take me where I need to be.
I cannot.
No. And then she runs away and then runs into that family and then they got lit on fire and it's just like it is a lot.
Yeah. Her reckless decisions also remind me of the Kathleen E. Widowis book we read, like Shayna, how literally every conflict she got herself into
was her fault.
Yeah. I wonder why is that like a heroine type that was popular?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We all love that your notes.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see this coming. I don't know why.
I think maybe I didn't see it coming, but maybe because there was so much going on with the clans and like the background story. Yeah. I didn't see it.
I thought it was gonna be that the Gawain. I don't know. I thought that he was the one that was like instigating the war, not some other clan.
But I suppose that would have been too obvious, but I don't know. I thought the same thing.
Is Jesse's not related to William, right? That was someone else.
Jesse was someone's cousin. I don't remember whose cousin she was. I have no idea.
My notes not helping.
You didn't write that down.
I feel like I have too many characters here.
But it was a lot when like it first started and she was like, oh, me and all my sisters have to get married and it could be this guy or this guy or this guy. And so was William one of the people she was originally possibly going to marry or was it someone else?
I think so. I think it was someone that she was possibly going to marry.
I don't remember.
No, I think it was Alistair, right? Alistair? That was who she was arranged to for marriage.
Who is that though?
I just saw that name.
Oh, okay. People out there. Libby was William's cousin. Jesse is cousins with Jamie's brother-in-law.
Jesse was Gawain's cousin?
So many characters. We read the book, I promise.
Yes, there were too many characters and there was not a lot of depth to them. No. I also don't think like his sisters had a lot to them either. They just kind of showed up at the end.
It felt like she introduced a lot of characters that really had no purpose or point to the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean,
like her sister. But... Yeah. Like her sister has really no plot importance.
Yeah. Maybe she had like an intention of turning this into a series or something like the Mallory Anderson series, but I don't know. I felt like a lot of the characters were just so unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, was it a moment in time was that the one where like the sisters were being married off and like
Yes.
it really read like the sister was gonna have her own book because they like introduced that because it was like his friend, and then you're like, no, they just went off and got married, and like then she was pregnant, and you're like, but why? Like I don't know, and I feel like that reminded me. Okay, so a lot of this reminds me of a moment in time.
Yeah, I think just the setup, like the family setup, and how like we got all the details, even though it's not that crucial to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the little brother at the beginning. Is his name Niall?
Niall.
Like that conversation with Jamie was really fun.
Yeah. This book was funny. I was laughing a lot throughout this book. Like someone else was saying they were laughing because it was just a mess, but I was like, yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. It was definitely a different tone than I anticipated. Just judging by the cover, I feel like it would be a lot more like a bit darker.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like chapter 1 feels like the tone I was anticipating with like the invasion and then like people getting killed, but then it got a lot lighter very quickly.
Because the first Lindsey book I read was her Viking romance, and that one was just like so many consent issues and very much like the darker kind of historical romance. This didn't have really any consent issues. I mean, our hero, the way he talked about our heroine was trash. Like,
but he was like trying to act all like, I'm gonna take you when I want you, but then he's like, oh, but not really, I'm just saying that because I'm mad. And you're just like, well, now you caught
like said that to her father. I was like, what are we saying?
Well, he tried to say, oh, by the way, what I said, and the brother was like, oh, no, don't worry about it, let's go. So he was going to like take back what he said. But like, that was the driving point for her hatred for him for the entire book, was that lie that he told her brother.
And I don't know. Yeah, I think the character is fine of Jamie. I think just the way he's written, some of his dialogue just is a little bit not PC. Reading.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Or like he need to try before marry thing. Like,
I know.
That out, I was like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, Johanna Lindsey's books do have some consent issues. This one kind of like danced around it because of the way like he talked about her. Jen, I'm so curious, which 3 have you read that you disliked? I'm very curious.
Oh, I think that there's one I actually buddy read with Jen, and then she DNF'd it, and I gave it 1.5 stars.
Which one was it?
One of her sci-fi one.
Oh, like Warriors or something like that. That cover is so pretty. Her sci-fi.
Warriors Women?
That's the only one I know. I know she has others.
Yeah,
the 3rd one in that series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't communicate. They just yelled at each other.
Yeah. There's no communication in this.
Poor Jen.
I mean, I still stand by my 3.5-star rating. It was very enjoyable, I think. Entertaining. And I mean, it just had it's pretty stereotypical for Scotland Highland romance, though, where it's like 2 feuding clans and then they have to marry so that they get along. I feel like that is a super common marriage of convenience trope in a lot of historicals.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's the thing with the book club. We're going to break down like every aspect of it, but I still stand by my 3 stars. It's not like the worst historical I've read.
Right. Yeah, far from it. And I totally can see the 3 and 3.5 star. I think my 2 star is just like me realizing my preference, and then this book just happened to hit the type that I don't like.
Oh, I thought. Okay, what is hand fasting?
Oh, I kind of Google it quickly.
Well, let me see.
I feel like it's kind of like how it's like an agreement that you're engaged to each other. It's kind of like ceremonial, I think.
I thought it was like something like that, where it was like not marriage, but like close to marriage.
Yeah.
So it's a practice that defines like an unofficiated wedding. It's like a betrothal or a temporary wedding. So you're like pledging to each other, and it's
that makes me mad.
Tradition. I don't know.
Oh, maybe it's like, oh, we're betrothed, but I'm not going to actually marry you until I like
Yeah,
Test
it was more like a symbolic act.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a Celtic tradition.
Okay. I do agree with this comment though. Virginia Henley's was way worse than this.
Oh my
God.
That we all DNF'd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird in the Pagan. This is the that one was awesome.
There you go. Heart of a Warrior. That's the one.
Oh.
I haven't read any of those. But if you guys are looking for Johanna Lindsey books that you think, I would say Love Only Once. I thought that book was fantastic. It's the first book in the Mallory Anderson series. And then I also love Gentle Rogue, which is also in that series. So that whole series just gets a thumbs up for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I might just stick to her Regency romance. I feel like every time she tries something else.
That is so true, because I hate her Viking ones. I'm not like the biggest fan of the Highland one. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to her Regencies too.
Hearts of Flame I really enjoyed, but that is also like very alpha, I kidnap you, you're mine kind of thing, but I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Colin was but she was young, wasn't she? Wasn't she like 19?
She was 19.
Yeah, she was young.
Niall 13?
Jamie is 25.
Yes, but then her younger brother.
Oh, I don't know.
Her younger brother was. He was younger. Yeah, Jamie, and didn't she say like she didn't want someone that old? And I was like, you could have way worse than that historicals. She did have.
Yeah, that's the thing with Scottish romance. The language is always interesting when you're reading it. I feel like it's better to listen to an audio. Did this have an audio?
I
don't know. I didn't use the audio.
No, I didn't. I read the physical.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if the hand fasting was an Outlander thing, and I thought it was, but.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean,
also,
it's the same time period, right? So that would make sense.
Yeah. How common is the name Jamie too? Because I feel like I read so many historicals, and Jamie is.
Well, I mean, they had it King James. They had a King James, so maybe that's why it was popular.
I'm going through. Old school promise ring.
Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Okay, so people did love Only Once. So I'm just getting through all these comments.
Yeah. I also quite enjoyed that one as well.
Is this true?
That's awful.
That's so bad. If that's really the purpose for hand fasting.
But they couldn't be intimate until they got married. Or was the hand fasting like a way to get around that?
Maybe.
I haven't read many Julie Garwood books yet.
This reminded me of the one I just read, Saving Grace, that I didn't like. Because it was more boring than this one. So that's why I like this one. And that one, he's just like, you need to go rest. You need to go rest. What are you doing? Go rest. And she's like, why would I? And then, of course, she's like, I keep on throwing up, but it looks like I'm gaining weight. Look at that meat. So, yeah. Yeah, I also own a bunch of her books.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
I think I own every single one, to be honest. I really want to read some of her Westerns.
I'm nervous because I don't love Westerns, but we'll see.
I don't think I've read like a true Western. I'm trying to think. I've read the Beverly Jenkins Western. But that's like it.
Yeah. This is so true though. Like, Colin was like, "Oh, you want her? Okay." Like, you just kept her in your room for a week, and you're just gonna be like, "All right, go ahead and take her." I thought that was funny. I did not. But...
No. I haven't seen Outlander, so maybe that's why.
I love Outlander.
No.
I do think they kind of brushed over the wife a little bit. He's like, "Oh yeah, she hated men." I was like, "Why?" Like,
yeah, we never find out what exactly happened to her, right?
Right.
She committed suicide, but like, why?
My assumption was that she was horribly. Something happened to her because of a man.
Yeah.
And so that's why she said she hated men.
Yeah, that's kind of where my mind went as well.
Yeah. That she said she would commit suicide before even the wedding night. I was like, well, okay, so then something happened there.
Yeah.
But it was just brushed over. I didn't like that either. Oh, there's no audio.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Okay. So like there's always a Jamie in any book I read. That's Scottish. We still enjoyed it. We're just still being critical.
Yeah, of course. We just overthink everything. That's the point of the book.
Yeah. It definitely is not like a priority, I think. It's not like a must read.
Yeah. Someone's comparing it to The Bride. It's so interesting. We're all saying like it reminds us of different books.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that shows like how influential Johanna and Lindsey was also for the historic romance community.
Well, was Julie Garwood writing at the same time?
I think they were the same time.
But was The Bride earlier than this?
I don't know. What year was this published?
This one is...
Because The Secret was... This was 84? 85?
84, yeah.
This was 84.
But Julie Garwood, like, even The Secret was enemies, clans having to get married because the king said so.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, like, the editor at the publishing house at the time really loved this kind of story. So so that person just like sent all the authors I write Outlander stories.
This was first. The Bride was 1989.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a good point though with the hand fasting also.
Yeah, I think I said that.
That's true.
I do like, I think we find out at the end, like the backstory. I think it's like Jamie's grandparents. That was like very like Shakespearean. It's like a love triangle. And then like,
Aunt Lydia.
And then like, wait, how did it happen? It's like someone used the sword belonged to the other to kill the wife and then committed suicide to make it look like he was killed by, that was.
So then they found it and killed him for killing.
Yeah, that was great. That's the drama I was here for.
Their bickering was too realistic for a romance. That's funny. Also, this is true though. Like, why would the royalty care so much about what people are doing that they'd be like, okay, you two marry, now you two have to marry, and you two have to marry? I don't know.
Well, we would use a lot of the romances for alliances. Like I'm reading a Highlander one right now, and she's meant to marry like a British baron for an alliance between Scotland and Britain, but she doesn't want to, obviously. So it was more so just alliance.
True. Which is why I always compare historicals to mafia romances, because they always, I know, Samantha, you don't like mafia romances, but they do a lot of marriage of convenience where they're doing it to like have an alliance with like rival mafias.
Yeah. But it is kind of funny to imagine the king just sitting there playing matchmaker.
Right. I mean, the queen does in Bridgerton in the show, so.
Yeah.
Justin does not have a YouTube channel. He's just on Instagram with your photography, right?
Yeah.
A lot of that, yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty active on Goodreads if people cares.
Oh, yes.
No, I appreciate it. I always read Goodreads reviews. I find them so much fun to go through.
Yeah.
This is true, though. Once you see that trope so much, you kind of compare it then to those other books and who does it better.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can only do like enemies to lovers so many times.
Yeah. Which I wonder, maybe that's why, because then you guys mentioned earlier, a lot of like historical romance author branch out to write like romantic suspense. I feel like it's because like you just run out of ideas that you can do that's like a historical romance story in that setting.
I also, though, I asked that to Beverly Jenkins yesterday. I was like, so why did you decide to write romantic suspense? Because that's a huge trend. Like Julie Garwood does it. Other ones have. And she said it was her editor that asked her to write it. So I also think that they saw a huge market for romantic suspense and were like, let's see if any of our writers now will write it. And I guess a lot of them jumped onto it. So Now it's annoying when they don't write historicals like Julie Garwood.
I know.
Writing romantic suspense. But it is also maybe they are like, oh, I've done all the tropes, now let's try something else out.
Yeah, and I'm sure like getting the historical facts right is probably a lot more work than just writing like a story that's set in current time.
Yes, and historical. Okay, so that's my thing. A lot of people are like, oh, historical romance is so predictable, or like they're all the same tropes over and over again. But then when authors do try to get creative, they'll like scream at them for historical accuracy. I'm like, which one do you want? Like, it's okay for them to have like some type of creative liberty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jamie got shot with arrows, but he did not die.
No.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, it must, like, this didn't make sense, because she's like, it must have hit a rib, so they didn't like actually hit his heart. And I was like, wouldn't that still really damage stuff if an arrow hit your rib?
And especially during that time, like it would have gotten like infected or something.
But that was also a stupid decision where they're like, oh, they're the bad guys. Let's the two of us go race over there to, and I'm like, what do you think's gonna happen? Yeah. So of course they get shot at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be a very dull arrow.
Right. Yeah, this is true.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then like Gawain ended up being like a good guy then. Like he was sabotaging them, but now he knows like who the real enemy is, and then he like is just forgiven for everything he's done.
What Katie Roberts is romantic suspense? Am I a fake fan?
Oh, she has, I've read some of them. They're like traditionally published, yeah. One is about like these, what was it? These people who were trying to track down a serial killer in the woods, and like, yeah. It was from a while ago though.
Is it the one on Kindle Unlimited? Okay, I'm a fake fan apparently. I had no idea she had a romantic
I don't know. I listened to the audio.
I don't generally enjoy romantic suspense, so it's fine. Yeah. I probably won't read it.
I'd love to see Jamie's life.
Well,
because I felt bad because like Ian, I mean, I didn't really know him, but I felt bad that he died because he was like the one that loved the animals and like the one that Gawain's like stabbed, and he died.
Wait, she has westerns. Okay, wait, better. I feel like I could have sworn I've read like the majority of her books.
She has a lot. She's been writing for a long time.
Under the same name, or does she have other like pen name?
Like Western historical romances? No. Anyway,
I'm looking. I'm trying to find the one I read. I know she has like Mafia that were traditionally published.
Oh, I know those. What? I need to go deeper into her backlist. Oh, Cowboy. Mm.
Oh yeah, I read The Hunting Grounds.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, modern Western. The only modern Westerns I think I've read are Rebecca Weatherspoon's one.
You read it for your book club, huh?
And then I read the second one too. The Hunting Grounds, the one I read, came out in 2017. So before she got super popular.
Sorry, I saw a different genre and I like detoured the conversation. What are some Highlander romances that you guys love? Like recommendations. Jessica, I feel like you read Highlander romances all the time.
Well, Justin, what was the Maya Banks one you read?
It was In Bed with the Highlander.
I really like that one.
I know.
It's
my problem. I just don't.
Well, it's the same dynamic where she like butts heads with him. She won't listen to him. He's super alpha, and they have a marriage of convenience. I will say, like, the fan favorite is Never Seduce Scott. I've not met a single person who hasn't liked that book. So, and he's not alpha, I feel like. Samantha, would you say he's not alpha?
I haven't read this one.
You haven't read this one?
No.
Everybody's read it. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't think he is that alpha, but I've only enjoyed a few in these series. Yeah. She's the third one after Never Seduce Scott has been like supposed to be coming out for like 10 years now.
Oh
And
yeah. I
So,
heard you guys
I
talk
did
about.
she say anything like what happened or?
I think she's sick, and so she's had been dealing with some illness for a long time. Because her KGI series, like her romantic suspense series, also has been pushed back a lot.
Mm.
But I feel like the most common trope in Highlander romances is marriage of convenience. What is the Tessa Dare one is really good. Surprised you haven't heard the Tessa Dare one.
I might have read. Is it in the Castle series?
Yes.
Is
where she was like writing letters to a fake man, but he was it was his name, and he was getting
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That one I like. I like that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, but again, he wasn't super like alpha, my way or the highway kind of thing. And then Sophie Jordan has one too that's super cute that I really liked. When a Scott Ties a Knot is that one. And This God of Mine I really like.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm reading it right now. I think it's set in Highland. I feel like our hero is a Highlander. I feel like I'm gonna go with it. It's Scandalous Passions by Nicola Davidson. It's a poly romance.
I've been meaning to read more of her.
Yeah, so it's like the ex-mistress of the king, his guard, and like his ward. The three of them all form like a romance, and it's so good. And she is like the ward is supposed to marry like that English baron, and she doesn't want to, so she ends up like forming a relationship with the other two people, and they form like a poly relationship. It's really steamy and it's really good. It's a short audiobook. It's like 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
The series is just called Highland Menage.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
What's Sherilyn Kenyon's pen name?
I know Sherilyn Kenyon is. She writes a lot of like paranormal romance, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have one of these. But I don't remember the title. These are newer, I know. I know I have not read Elisa Braden yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I want to check her out too.
Well, it's just that for Scottish historical audiobooks, I have a really hard time listening to because their accents are so thick that I'll have to slow it down, and I hate slowing down my audiobooks.
I mean, I did like The Highlander by Kerrigan Byrne, but I feel like that's an easy cop-out.
I know. I need to read Elisa Braden. Jen got me the book for, I think, Christmas, and I still haven't read it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I have a lot of Finley McGregor books.
I have read one of hers, the pirate one.
I have a lot of her books.
Oh, I haven't read the pirate. I haven't read her. I have a bunch of hers.
I know one of her Scottish romances have like a virgin hero, which is like my favorite trope ever. But yeah, I haven't read it.
We don't get that a lot in historicals.
No, not at all. I can name like 5 maybe.
Oh my gosh, and like that just reminds me though, in the book where it was like he had kidnapped Colin had kidnapped Sheena, and then she's like, oh well, Jamie's been in his bedroom all day, and I'm like, excuse me, like I thought he's supposed to be now like gonna court Sheena, but he was too distracted by Jesse.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. They don't really often show the hero like with someone else during the book. Like we'll know like their past, but not that close when they get together.
That's a good point. That this might also be the first time I read where the mistress is pretty like dominantly featured.
Yeah. A lot of Judith McNaught books too, the heroes always have mistresses in the background.
And we know how you feel about that, so.
I'm just saying.
Samantha's dislike for
my daily like trash Oh, Jennifer Ashley, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, my library has the first book of the Nicola Davidson series that you said you like, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm listening to it on Hoopla.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
Jennifer
good.
Ashley. Donna Fletcher. I did like the one Bound to a Warrior.
Right.
Where they were like chained together and escaped. That was fun. Yeah. And the cover's super pretty.
I have some of her books too. I have a lot of these people's books. I just need to read them.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Wine has the series. I wasn't the biggest fan of Highland Spitfire, but again, it's like fiery redhead who doesn't listen to anybody, and I'm just like, can we get over this trope stereotype of a character? But
sounds like I might give Highlander romance a couple more tries, but I need to avoid the one that has like the typical marriage of convenience and then red hair, reckless heroine. I think as long as I stay away from those, I might enjoy them.
Now you have a chance to add to your TBR.
Have you read The Secret by Julie Garwood?
Not yet.
Because that one's really good.
Yeah,
she's
Julie Garwood.
She's English and he's Scottish, and they like detest each other. But she's best friends with someone who's Scottish and goes to help her friend who's having a baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I did a Highlander video a long time ago. I haven't read as many anymore.
Yeah.
It's
and Jen
has stuff in Regency is like all anybody writes. So you have to kind of
But Jen from the book Refuge, go to her channel. She has tons of recommendations. She's been giving us a ton of recommendations in the
right. This is all like oh yeah. Have you guys read Karen Marie Moaning?
No.
Okay. She has some time travel Highlander romances.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So I believe the heroine time travels back into those times. Yeah.
Oh,
it was like,
no, I think I know which one you're talking about. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, she had like sworn off men because like in the present, like she got burned by a guy. She's like, I'm never gonna date ever again. Men are awful. And like there was some bet with like the witch and the hero. It's kind of like it felt very Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. And so the witch like is like, I bet you can't make anyone fall in love with you. So then she finds her, the woman who's like been scorned by a man and never wants to see a man again, and brings her and is like, this is the one you have to fall in love with, kind of thing. I'm pretty sure it was that one. Yeah. It's time travel. So they take her back. Oh my gosh, there's so many. But I don't think the rest are time travel.
Oh.
Possibly. I don't remember. We have Julie Garwood. Oh my gosh, so many. Kiss of the Highlander. I'm assuming is that the Karen Marie Moaning? I don't remember.
And Knight in Shining Armor was good. I gave it 3 stars. That was the book we read.
That was a wild ride. So, like, that's what I was expecting from this. I was like, okay, another, like, because we've had just a couple in a row where they're just, like, bonkers plots and they're very interesting. But this one's plot was pretty tame.
It is.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The king or someone is holding 2 feuding clans in a church and refusing to let them leave until their children marry. What? I do not know what this is. That does not sound familiar.
No.
That should be I feel like there should be a trivia game for a romance fan that just like describes
Jen
I was gonna say Jen, you know, because is that a Mary Wine?
Highland Spitfire.
I tried Highland Spitfire. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It might be that one.
Oh, someone says Karen Hawkins.
Oh, she has such pretty step backs.
Yeah.
For her books that are the Highlander ones. Let me look at Highland Spitfire. I don't remember. Oh, okay. Yep. Jen knew. No one's surprised.
Who wins?
Jen is coming through in the chat today.
Oh my gosh.
Like now seeing all these like other kind of book titles, I do like A Gentle Feuding as a title. It's quite creative and it's like very like evocative.
Yeah.
But like, was it actually a gentle feuding that they had? But it is a fun title.
Yeah. Her marketing was like all her titles, all her covers, they were gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got really tired of like collecting like all her like the snapbacks with what's the illustrator's name? Elaine Duillo.
Oh, Elaine Duilio.
Yeah. So I ended up buying this like magazine.
I have that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what is that?
It's like a industry magazine that just kind of talk about like illustrators, and then this particular issue has like a whole feature on like her work.
How fun!
So it's really cool. Yeah, like these.
Oh
It's
my
actually
gosh,
cool
I
to
love
see, like, her process too. Like they showed you like her sketches and then like the reference photo that she used. Yeah. I don't have enough shelf space to actually buy these books, so
Right.
That's cool. I like that book.
I got that from Chelsea. Do you follow Chelsea on? It was Chelsea Upton, but now it's Chelsea eBooks, I think, on TikTok and Instagram. They're the ones who sent me that illustrated magazine because I sent them. I found Loretta Chase Lord of Scoundrels, and I sent that to them, and they were like, "Oh, thank you," and sent me the magazine. They go in depth on like artists and stuff on their TikTok about like this is this artist, and so that's the only reason why I know who Elaine Duilio is because of that TikTok.
Yeah, because like, even at the end, there's like this whole page of like catalog of all the covers she's done. So if you want to do like a cheat sheet, like a checklist of like see how many you got,
collect all of hers.
Yes.
It's amazing. Is it? I think do they credit Elaine Duilio to like Fabio's stardom?
I think so.
Yeah, because I think he was in a lot of hers.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I was telling with Beverly Jenkins. I was like, your covers, the covers they gave you, even your first book, like, oh my gosh, they do not do that anymore. And I'm just like, I don't know why, if it's just because digital is, maybe Justin, you would probably be able to answer this, but is digital just like cheaper and that's why they do it all digitally now and not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely due to budget. And then I feel like it's kind of interesting because I do work in kind of branding and graphic design. And sometimes just like market demands. And then actually just because I think the romance reader are such devoted fans, you don't need a lot of encouragement to get people to buy books. So like as a cost saving method, they're like, oh, that we don't have to spend that much money to entice people with a beautiful cover because people will buy it anyways. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of like the situations now.
But like imagine this coming out on a cover today.
I know.
Like I would buy.
Yeah, because I personally geek out with all the custom like typography. Like you cannot type this out in a computer. Like someone actually draw these characters to be in this kind of
yes. And then you think of like the Amanda Quick step backs that are like those beautiful like
ones.
Oh my gosh, you just don't see it anymore and it's so sad.
Yeah.
Which well, people are kind of doing it with all the book boxes, like the special editions. Then you can start seeing like, oh yeah, they actually commission an illustrator to do like custom paintings.
Yes.
But I do kind of wish publisher would just do it right away with the first release.
Yeah. Well, and like Katie Roberts, her new cover for The Monster's Bride, gorgeous, and she was inspired by like the original Clannish, and Johanna Shoop's Lady Gets Lucky. So you do have so that gives me such like old school vibes. And she told me
it's kind of raised. The letters are kind of raised.
Yeah. But in our interview, she said that was an old Lisa Kleypas cover that wasn't used.
What?
Yeah. And so like that's during like COVID when they weren't doing photo shoots and they were like looking through what they had and they pulled that. And I was like, well, that's why it looks so stunning. Yeah. And so I'm glad they did that for The Bride Goes Rogue. But you can kind of tell like a difference too. The Bride Goes Rogue looks more like photography than The Lady Gets Lucky looks more like illustrated to me.
Yeah.
I mean, which I think it kind of explains why. Well, I mean, you guys inspire me to like collect these like paperbacks, but I feel like for my own preference, I kind of stop somewhere between early 2000s because I feel like beyond that it becomes way too digital. And then as someone that worked in the industry, I was like, I can probably do something like that. It just didn't appeal to me anymore.
Special.
Yeah. It's not as paint, like I cannot paint something like this.
Right.
I appreciate the artistry in this one more than just something that's like photoshopped.
It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it makes me so sad that they don't do it.
I mean, I don't mind like illustrated covers or more contemporary covers for other genres of romance, but historical romance, like I just feel like they deserve those clinch covers. Like it's what we want.
Yeah.
Like a contemporary book, I don't care if it's illustrated and like cutesy because it goes with like the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram, Jess, and I was gonna say something, but then I was like, wait, they sent that to her. I don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Forever did send it to me. I love Forever's historicals, but they are going towards, like Justin said, they know we're going to buy it because we're romance readers, and they're trying to entice new readers, which are the Bridgerton people who are embarrassed to read romance and want the tame covers. And it's sad. It literally is all because of whoever designed those original Bridgerton covers.
I just want to talk.
Well, that person should get a raise because it started a whole trend.
So they did start a whole trend. That is not a trend I'm a fan of.
It is true. It's a huge trend that started. And you know what, though? What's so annoying is like, okay, so when I don't buy books from Target that often, but I always go over to the book section when I'm at Target. And historical romances were always like the books were against the wall. And then the historical romances were in the back, like literally hidden. But now that they have the Bridgerton style covers, they're like more towards the front. And I'm like, really? So it is really just about marketing.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the two versions of this that they had?
Yeah.
No. How to Catch a Raven? That one?
Yes. They had a clinch.
Uh-huh.
And they had
like crop people's head off cover.
Head. And they went with this style and not the clinch. And it's still really pretty for this style. Like, I still really like the pose and, like, the pink dress she has on. Like, they show more than this. But the potential.
I actually like that cover. I do like that cover.
Yeah, but it could have been better. So.
Or, like, the E.B. Dunmore books. I'm sorry. I have not read those because I cannot stand those illustrated covers. I cannot stand them.
Yeah.
I have this one. Is this the original? Because I don't like it.
For the Lorraine Heath one that we're reading?
Yeah.
Why did I grab Texas Glory? I grabbed the wrong book. I grabbed the wrong one. Sorry. Where is that one?
Yeah, so this one is the original. And it's like nothing special. This is 97. But they changed it to that style that you have, Samantha, for the next one in the series. Where it's like a couple.
But the style you're holding, actually, you know, we're talking about all these bodice rippers, but the style you're holding, a lot of authors had that. Like Judith McNaught, Amanda Quick had them for her romantic suspense. That was like a popular cover too.
Yeah, like the object cover.
Yeah. I feel like the early 2000s when that came in.
Yeah.
Be really popular, especially with contemporary too. Oh, we are not going to even talk about the prom dress cover.
I adore Sarah McLean. Her books are wonderful. Love her podcast. That cover is not my favorite.
No. The new cover is really pretty of this book, actually, because I'm pretty sure it is the couple, like with like the Western background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely not like the old is always better. I feel like if someone put like effort to it, I think they can still have great covers.
But this is true. A lot of them had like the plain, but then put the little step back inside.
That's my favorite type.
Yeah. The best of both worlds.
I saw a TikTok asking people for contemporaries to do that because like everybody's so into discrete covers now, and they're like, fine, make us have the romance cover as the step back if you're that opposed to it, and then have your discrete on the front. Yeah.
I don't mind discrete covers for contemporary though. Like contemporary, I'm fine with. It's literally just historicals that I feel like need that gorgeous.
It's like part of the experience now. It's like so ingrained.
Yes. But I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. It's really about the story inside that matters. So we're just being picky.
But like, where'd it go? I'm still gonna keep this on my shelves.
Yeah.
Because of the cover.
Of course.
Like, normally, if it's like a 3-star read, I'd be like, do I need to keep it? But I'm like, no, I need to keep this because of the cover. So, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm surprised that like all those like book boxes, no one has done like a historical romance, has they?
They did do a Sarah McLean book.
Oh.
They did Bombshell, and it was not pretty. They did the hardback of it, and like I feel like it was still like a silhouette and like not anything. It was just like one woman. Let me see if I can. I know that Lacey got it in a book box.
Let me see.
But it was not anything exciting.
Oh.
But like then I would want that. Like give us old school illustrated cover as the special edition. That would sell so well if someone did that for historicals.
100%.
Oh my gosh. And then they'd have the money if it was a book box. I don't remember how long ago this was.
Is she like holding like a flower? Like this one? Is it this one?
Oh no, it's this one. Hold on.
Oh, I think this is the Kindle version.
This is Bombshell.
Oh. Yeah, that's not all that. That's not interesting.
No. Very digital illustrated.
Yeah.
Not a big fan.
Yeah, we do always talk about covers. Literally, that. Yeah. We're like those old ladies. Like back in my day, we had step backs.
I feel like you guys should do like one live chat just devoted to covers, and I can be the moderator. I can give you guys a prompt, and then you can just show off.
I'll be just like tearing apart my shelves. This is so true, though.
Yeah.
Okay, but a lot of them are like feeling like the selection in like the Lux series. Did you ever read the Lux series by who was it? Anna something? They were historical, but they were like pretty flowy dresses. They were young adult. This is true. But also you can do what you want. Like Katie Roberts just decided I'm gonna do a Clinch monster romance cover. And like the Kraken one is so pretty too. So
I know.
Who is the illustrator?
I don't know.
I want to check out that person's work.
Oh yeah. Check out their art. I don't know if hopefully she's given them credit, because that's the other thing too, is like for a lot of these old school historicals, it's also hard unless it's like Elaine Duilia or like Pinot. It's really hard to find out like who illustrated their cover.
It's so interesting because I feel like back in the day, maybe that role isn't really recognized, because like nowadays you have book designers, cover designer credited on the book. But yeah, in these old school ones, unless they like Pinot have the signature right on the painting, you don't see them.
Right.
Jen said she thinks they're inside the book. I don't think so.
Not back in the day.
No, they usually don't.
No, I don't see them.
Yeah.
Like if you have this Johanna and Lindsey one, it's not there.
No. Because like all these other book I'm reading, like this nonfiction, like you could say the cover designs credits right here. It's always on the book.
Interesting. So it's not even like
but like this, like you would say jacket design. It's always nowadays always credited.
It is nowhere on here, so I don't even know how.
No.
I feel
it is on here though. Like on even this, it says cover art and design.
You have to now. You have to credit everyone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's interesting. See, this is why it's good to have you, Justin.
And then now you sometimes you also know if the photo is a stock photo or not, because they also have to get credit to where the photo comes from.
Oh.
So you would see like image from Getty or things like that.
Oh.
I don't know
who. Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah.
cover images are from Archangel Images and
Yeah.
Shutterstock.
Yeah.
That's why they look so basic. They're taking it from Shutterstock.
See how much money they're saving.
Right? That is crazy. So they're not putting like any money.
They just need to buy the rights to the image, but they're not like commission a photographer to shoot.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that also due because of the pandemic?
It was
easier to get stock photos instead of getting actual people for a photo shoot?
Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But like, I don't think that's the case anymore, but they're still doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Justin said, they realized how inexpensive it was, and romance readers will buy them regardless.
Oh.
Someone said who did it. I don't want to mispronounce her name. Anna. Oh, I don't want to mispronounce her name. How do you say that?
For what? I'm looking at this and seeing. Oh, it does. Cover art by Anna Moshak.
Okay. Cool.
But it says cover design is by someone else.
I wonder if that's the same illustrator who did her Wicked Villain series.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so pretty. Her hardbacks with the clinch.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have 2 credit because the illustrator would do the painting and then the designer is the one that put the type on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes me more salty.
It's so interesting because like you can tell like different genres, because I feel like the next one below romance is like thrillers. Thriller also have pretty like cheaply made covers because it's usually like a eerie looking landscape and then type on top. But then these are the 2 most popular kind of fiction genre for people to like purchase. But then once you get into like literary fiction, that's when you have like really beautiful covers because the publisher really need to entice people to buy them because they're not popular. Yeah, so it's really interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And YA, I feel like they have a lot put into their covers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. But then I wonder how, like, because Emily Wittig, she like did a few indie authors books and now she's like blown up and she does Sophie Lark's alternate covers and like I love her. She did Macaulay Smelter's where is mine? Oh, this one I think is so pretty. I know people didn't like the book, people have feelings about the book, but the cover's super pretty. And I wonder like how people like get into the book illustrating, book design industry.
I think it's probably word of mouth, I'm sure.
Is it? I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then like if you have a particular style that's like recognizable, then that's kind of how you grow your reputation.
That's true. Because I found a couple who are with a young, I forget what publisher it is, some young adult books, and they'll show like, oh, these are all the options I had for this book that I designed, and this was our thought process, and this is what and I think those videos are super cool.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you get into that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, there is. Sorry, I was reading this one. There is a.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see it now.
Oh, they did find it. R something. R something.
Oh, is that McGinnis?
R McGinnis? Yeah, that looks like a G.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is. Now that you say it.
A popular.
I love how it's just like her foot.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like McGinnis.
I don't even know how to look this up. Illustrator. Yeah, it's Robert McGinnis. He was a romance illustrator.
He does a lot. I feel like he also does like the 007 movie posters, like the early ones.
I think yes.
So fun.
Yeah.
Where did I read that? I remember reading that somewhere.
I feel like he was mentioned in the Trailblazers podcasts, not podcasts, podcasts. I feel like they show him.
How do you even like find a list of like all of his illustrations? Just giving me Pinterest. Interesting. So I wonder how many of them have their
signature.
Thank you. I could not think of that word. Oh my god. It's like illustration. No, it's not the word. Signature on their books. Okay. Yes. I think I've also heard about it on TikTok. It is Robert McGinnis. Yes, I know he's done.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Cool. That's awesome.
But like also the fact that someone painted this blows my mind.
Yeah,
so amazing.
Yeah. Like
imagine having the original art print.
I know. I would love to have
Where
that.
are those? Where
I
are
think
they? Like who owns all of these?
during the pandemic, like 2020, I read Birthday Girl, and then I was like, challenging myself, so I tried to do it.
Yeah, I remember you posting that. I love it.
I actually glue it into the book.
Oh my god! Because it's your own step back now.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It takes so long. It takes like almost 3 weeks to paint that. I was like, okay, I don't understand. And now I understand those illustrated cover takes time.
That looks cool.
Yeah. Well, then I wonder how much they would pay the illustrators. Like, what is their commission like?
Yeah, that I don't know.
It was expensive. I mean, they afforded it for Johanna Lindsey, so I don't know.
And then she also wasn't like a big author yet, right? Because this is like her early work. So it's not like they're spending money on like a famous author.
Right. So like, this was her first book. So it's not for Beverly Jenkins. It's not like she was best-selling when she did this. And look at that cover.
Yeah.
That was also like peak historical romance. Like historical romance was really hitting its stride.
Yeah.
So maybe they were pouring their attention into those books.
Yeah, I think so.
Versus now, I wouldn't say, I don't know. What would you say is like the best-selling romance subgenre? I don't think it would be historical romance, would it?
Contemporary?
Yeah, I
think definitely contemporary. That's more on the women's fiction side. So like Colleen Hoover's on the top charts like every week now. Like 5 of her books are in the top 10 of the USA Today. So, and like Christina Lauren, and they're getting much more women's fiction.
Emily Henry, maybe.
Emily Henry.
Do you like their new cover, the Christina Lauren for 11 Other Words?
I think it's cute.
Yeah.
Do you not like it?
No. I mean, I didn't like the original cover anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I do like the Emily Henry ones. Like now she has established a style. So all her books look like, you can tell it's her books.
Yeah. I actually like her covers a lot too, especially the orange and green one. What one is that one called? I forget.
People We Meet on Vacation.
Yeah, I like that cover. I do.
Yeah. And it fit her, the mood of the story. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
People were mad about Beach Read being about cults and her dad dying, and that covers all like super happy.
They went on a beach, kind of.
Right.
Oh, romantic suspense, of course, Nora Roberts. Yeah.
Is romantic suspense like really that much of a selling genre?
Maybe. I mean,
it was when all them shit.
I thoroughly ignore, unfortunately, because I'm a big old scaredy cat. I don't want suspense nothing. No.
I think they're fun, but I haven't read too many. Nora Roberts' summer releases are thrillers? Yes, I know. This is a big pet peeve of mine too.
For sure.
And I never know. I do know Tessa Bailey is changing this cover, so I don't know what it's going to look like now. for her My Killer Vacation, I think, which is interesting because Tessa Bailey's writing. It's I think it's like cozy mystery.
Is it?
Oh, I know. So like, Samantha will like this, but I think it's she's like a teacher and he's like dangerous.
Oh,
okay. Dangerous. Yeah.
I love cozy mysteries.
Yeah. Yes, they are changing that cover to Tessa Bailey's book.
So we'll see what it gets turned into.
Is that an indie release or is that okay? Got it.
Which is like so out of the realm of what she writes, Tessa Bailey. So at least what she's written recently. I don't know what she's written in the past. Julie Garwood's writing for the first time in 5 years, I heard. So, but it's of course romantic suspense. So they must sell well if these authors are still writing them.
The only romantic suspense books I've read is the In Death series. I think. Yeah. Oh, I read an Amanda Quick romantic suspense. She has a couple.
I need to read Beverly Jenkins ones.
I know. Ever since Tiff was talking about that, I was saying, missing out.
Yeah. Okay. We are a little over an hour because we got distracted by cover talk, which is not a surprise. But we are reading Texas Destiny next month, which we are super, super excited about. Hopefully I enjoy this Western because I didn't love the last Western I read by Lorraine Heath, but well, I don't even know what this one's about. But
which one was it? The one that you read?
I read The Outlaw and the Lady, and I thought it was kind of boring. So, or The Lady and the Outlaw. I don't remember the order of that. But I love Lorraine Heath, so I'm very excited to read one of her older ones.
I have like very high hopes for this one. Usually I go in like whatever, but for some reason I feel like this one's gonna be good.
Well, and I think it's hilarious whenever they're like, mail me a letter here. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that still works. It was over 20 years ago. Probably not. But that's all right. Okay. But thank you, Justin, for joining us. We had so much fun. You'll definitely be back at some point, probably. So, yes. And if not, I will try to remember. I will link his Goodreads.
Yes.
Because follow Justin on Goodreads because good reviews there. Yeah, and that's all we have. Anything else you guys want to say? Close out? No. All right, and yes, okay, this is not on audio, which is good. It's hard to find old ones on audio for a book club, so glad that's on audio. All right, we will see you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.